What's up everybody, Ranger here, and for today's video I'm going to show you guys what settings I use to get 256,000 arena points. This is one of my most heavily requested videos. Everyone has been telling me to make a video showing my settings. Don't forget to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it and if it helped you get better at the game with the goated settings that I use. And also don't forget to use critter code Ranger in the item shop. It would mean the absolute world to me, seeing as whenever you buy things in the item shop, it gives me money. Give me your fucking money! Alright, let's go ahead and go to the settings. I obviously play it in full screen instead of windowed mode. Many people don't know this, but if you use windowed full screen, it's not the same like frame rate. It feels a little bit like laggier. Like I think it caps your frame rate at around 60 or something like that, or it feels like 60. I'm not sure, but definitely want to use full screen when playing Fortnite. I use 1920 by 1080 resolution. I feel like everyone uses that for the most part. Obviously 240 FPS because I have a 240 hertz monitor. I use 75% brightness. I always feel like this season, like the game is just too bright, like overall, like especially like in Storm and stuff like that. So I found the perfect brightness for me was 75%. I don't use colorblind mode because they changed colorblind mode to make it kind of harder to see if you're not actually colorblind. For settings, I use 100% 3D resolution. That just means that the game looks better. If you have a lower end PC, you might want to lower that a little bit, but that's just what I use. View distance epic. View distance is pretty important because if you have low view distance, or it says near, so if you have near view distance, like things that are in the distance kind of look a little bit blobby, and it might be like just a little bit ugly. Like, I don't know, I just don't like to use near distance. But if you have a lower end PC, obviously I use lower settings for more FPS, but that's what I use. Shadows off because shadows suck. No one uses shadows. No one. Anyone. If you're watching this video, turn off shadows, okay? Just take it off. It's terrible. Anti-aliasing, I turn that off as well. Some people told me if you have anti-aliasing on Epic, it makes you crash less, but I'm pretty sure that's just a myth because anti-aliasing also tanks your frame rate. It sucks. It's terrible. Don't use it. Textures, I use Epic because I like the game to look a little bit nice. And for effects, I use low because effects is basically like the glowiness and stuff like that on objects, like back blings, like your skins, and it kind of just like it takes away from like being able to see people like their crisp outline. So I like to have that on low. Post-processing, I have that on low as well. VSync off. VSync is terrible as well. Don't use VSync. Just don't use it. Turn it off. Motion blur, terrible. Don't use it. Even worse with VSync, just turn off motion blur. I play on DirectX 12. Now this is a pretty huge change. A lot of people say they don't like DirectX 12 because it makes them crash. Me, I've crashed very little on DirectX 12. I've crashed a couple times, probably because I restart my game at least every like 5 hours, just because the more you restart the game, the less likely you are to crash. So I've done that. Like Epic themselves said you should be restarting your game every 3 hours, but you know, I'm kind of lazy, so I just do it every 5. DirectX 12 runs way better than DirectX 11. When I was using DirectX 11, my game was hitching like crazy. It was bad. So I swapped to DirectX 12 and my game feels perfect. I have not given performance mode a good try yet, but I love DirectX 12. Like it's perfect, so I can't imagine performance mode is going to be any better. Allow multi-thread rendering. Don't know what this does, but I have it turned on because someone told me to. I don't know what any of that does. Probably doesn't matter. Just if you want to just copy whatever I use, just copy it. I don't know what any of that stuff does. Ray tracing, I have it off. I believe ray tracing is only if you have a NVIDIA graphics card. It just makes the game look like crazy good, apparently, but it tanks your frames. So I wouldn't use that either. Let's go ahead and look at this. I don't think any of this matters too much. Auto open up doors turned on. Sprint by default turned on. Those were two really good things. Auto open up doors isn't as huge of an like it's not as necessary, but it's a good idea to have sprint by default on, honestly. One less button you have to hold to swap pickup. Wait, I actually need to turn this on. I'm not even trolling. I need that. I need that on. I don't know. I think the game might have automatically turned it off. I'm not too sure. Auto pick up weapons on. Duh. Auto sort consumables to the right. Duh. I'm just going to scroll through this. Disable pre-edit option. That's another really important thing. If you don't know what pre-edits are, it's when you basically, a lot of people use them on accident when they mess up. So you definitely want to disable that because no one really uses pre-edits. Confirm edit on release. This is a very, a lot of people don't like it. I personally love edit on release. It's one of the best things they've added to editing, but you should try it out. I feel like a lot of people like it a lot. Turbo building is obviously by default on. You gotta have turbo building on. Let's go ahead and go to HUD options. Now, HUD options, this is way too much. I'm just gonna like show you what I have, and you want to if you want to copy it, then copy it. Okay, this is my mouse sensitivity. I use 7.1. This is brand new. I actually changed this yesterday. I used the same sensitivity for a really long time. It was a different X and Y sense. I really got used to it, but it's terrible for you to use a different X and Y. So I had to force myself to change it, and I already feel more cracked than ever. So, you know, you definitely should have the same sensitivity. What sensitivity that is, it's really up to you. I chose 7.1 because it's like a balance in between having really good aim and really good mechanics. So we kind of like went in between. My target sense is, I don't know why it's not 50% on the dot. I don't know why. I'm just not going to touch that because I don't want to mess it up. What is invert? Okay, I just leave that at whatever that is. Controller options. I do not play on controller anymore, or I only played it for fun for a couple days. So that obviously doesn't matter because I'm mouse and keyboard. Audio. This is what I use for audio. And I like it. It works. I don't know if this matters too much, but I'm just going to go through it just because I feel like people are going to ask about it anyways.
Wow.
Everything right there. My keybinds. Now, I'm going to go through this really slow. If I have to go through every single thing, it might take me a billion years. So we're just going to go ahead and go through it very, very slowly. Yeah, okay, for scroll wheel reset, you need to have both building edit, scroll wheel down, and both reset building edit, scroll wheel down. Or whatever you use, scroll wheel up or scroll wheel down. You need to have both of them set. A lot of people that I've seen, they have only one. If you have only one, scroll wheel reset doesn't work. It's supposed to reset a wall instantaneously. So there's that. Anything else here? I don't think any of this matters. I'll go through it just so you guys can see it. I don't think this stuff here matters very much. But if you guys want, that's what I use. Okay. None of that other stuff matters. So I don't need to go over anything else. If you guys have any questions, ask me in the comments about anything that I use. I'm going to try to be as helpful as possible and respond to people. Yeah, that's all. I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like on this video if you haven't already. And that is it.